Chuban Bet HaMikdash Hasheni was destroyed for Sinat Chinam. Most people think it's because the Sephardics don't like the Ashkenazis and the Ashkenazis don't like the Sephardics. And the Yemenites don't like anyone, and the Bukharians sometimes like and sometimes don't like. And then the Iraqis are not really sure. And the guys from Tripoli, there's not really that many of us left. So we'll just disregard them and make it seem like they're Moroccans. And everyone claims that their food is the best. And no one is willing to pray at each other's keilah. They think that that nonsense is Sinat Chinam. Yes, it's Sinat Chinam, but it's not really the real reason of why we're still in the disaster that we're facing today. Rabbi Yonatan Eibeshitz, that lived a couple of 100 years ago, who did Zikuy Rabim, did Kiruv, his whole life, trying to save Am Yisrael. He said that the biggest Sinat Chinam that we still suffer from, the worst type of Sinat Chinam, is when one Jew sees another sinning, one Jew sees another going against Hashem and doesn't say anything. That's Sinat Chinam. If anyone watched or listened to the 613 commandment series that Rabbi Mizrahi has, it goes in details of 613 mitzvot that we have, whether it's Shabbat, Korbanot, all 613. And it shows you how each one of them has a source in the Torah. Most people think that out of the 620 mitzvot that we have, 613 are from rabbis, 7 are from Hashem. In reality, it's the opposite. It's 613 from Hashem, 7 from rabbis. The most interesting part is the ones that, as much as people complain about rabbis creating new laws and so on, the ones that people like the most, the mitzvot that people like the most, without knowing, it's actually the rabbinical ones. Hanukkah, saying a bracha before you eat, reading Hallel, it's the simple ones. So one of these mitzvot, out of the 613 from Hashem, not even from the rabbis, it's called Ocheach Tochiach et Amitecha. You must rebuke your nation. You see one of your brothers and sisters from Am Yisrael sinning, and you have some type of connection to him. He's your brother, she's your sister, neighbor, colleague, friend, part of your keilah. You see him sinning, you have to find a way to tell him the truth. Why? Because obviously if you're not sinning for a reason. You're not sinning because you're scared of Hashem. You're not sinning because you love Hashem. You're not sinning because you know the consequence. So if you know the consequence, then Rabbi Yonatan Eibeshitz says it's the same thing as knowing like a train is coming. If it was a train coming, and there was a person standing on the tracks, just not paying attention, just whistling, middle of the train, just looking at the sun, no idea why he's even there, thinking life is grand. There's a train coming. He's on the track. And you're watching this live. Would you say something? Would you push him out of the way? Would you at least whisper, "Hey, train's coming"? Would you even just say this? You would, right? You'd probably even do it for a cat. You'd probably even move a cat. How many heroes did we hear about in the news? Mr. So-and-so saved a monkey in some zoo. Look, there's a video on YouTube, got 1 billion hits. A cop saves a group of ducks. from a highway. National hero. He saved ducks. Save people. Let's start with people. We'll worry about ducks after. If you don't save them, the train's going to hit them. And Rabbi Yaron says, that's the Sinat Chinam that we're still suffering for. And that's why the Bet HaMikdash has not been built for 1948 years. Because we're still scared to tell people the truth. We're still scared of what they're going to think of us. Maybe they won't invite us to Shabbat anymore. Maybe they won't donate to our shul. Maybe they won't buy me a new car. Maybe the foundation I'm starting is not going to get up and running because I'm not going to get money from the Keilah, because I told them that if they violate Shabbat, everything else that they do is meaningless. There's no tshuva without Shabbat. Chazal says that even if you found a way, which is not possible obviously, but you found a way to keep 612 out of 613 mitzvot. Found a way. But the one that you don't keep is Shabbat. The 612 that you do mean nothing. It's like you did nothing. Why? Shabbat's the foundation of Judaism. Now the reason why you can't do all 612 or 613 is because they're not all relevant to one person. Some are just for Kohanim, some are just for women, some are just for men, some are just for the Bet HaMikdash, some you could only do in Eretz Yisrael, and so on. In reality, each one of us is responsible for probably a couple of hundred. Did you ever test yourself and see how many you're actually doing?